Hello, this is Pearl. Today I am beginning the reading of the new book, Little Pilgrim's Progress Part 2, Christiana's Journey, by Helen L Taylor. In the description box is a link to my reading of Part 1, Christian's Journey, that I read a few years ago. I plan to upload one chapter every few days or so, Lord willing. I hope you enjoy the adventures and lessons in this book. In Jesus' name. Little Pilgrim's Progress by Helen L Taylor is a simplified version of John Bunyan's classic Pilgrim's Progress. So, Little Pilgrim's Progress Part 2, Christiana. Chapter 50, A Letter from the King. Christiana had always loved little Christian, and when the other children told her that he had run away from them across the plain, and that they believed he had really gone to the celestial city, she was very sorry indeed. She had often heard about the city. Her own father and mother were both living there, and while they were traveling upon the way of the king, they had sent many loving messages to Christiana, desiring her to begin her pilgrimage and to bring her brothers and her little sister with her. But not very long before little Christian went away, she was told that her father had crossed the dark river, and in a few days her mother followed him. Then Christiana received no more messages, and she felt sad and lonely. When little Christian talked to her about his book, she listened to him, but she did not believe what he said. If my father and mother were really living in a beautiful city like that, she used to say, I am sure they would not forget us. They would have sent me another message. I think they were lost in the dark river, and we shall never see them any more. So when little Christian went away, she feared that he would be lost too, and she could not help crying to think of it. The summer and autumn passed, and the winter also. Then the spring came round again, and Christiana took her little sister Innocence into the fields to gather daisies. Innocence could run about now, and Christiana loved to see her playing happily among the flowers. Last year, she thought, Christian came with us into this very field the day before he went away, and we made daisy chains together. I wonder if he has found the celestial city, or whether he has been lost. She looked across the plain and could see the light in the distance, shining brightly above the wicket gate. Perhaps, she said to herself, I will go some day, but I must wait until Innocence is a little older, and I could not leave the boys by themselves. I am sure they would not go with me now. Then she lifted Innocence in her arms and turned back toward the city of destruction. In the evening, when she had put little Innocence to bed, and the house was quite still, for the boys were playing in the market with their schoolfellows, she sat down by the fire and thought of her father and mother, and of Christian also, and wished very much that she could see them all once more. That night she had a strange dream. She fancied she had really found the celestial city, and that she was walking along its streets with little Christian. Innocence was there too, and the three boys, and they all went together into a beautiful palace, where the king himself met them, and spoke very graciously to them. I wish it had been true and not a dream, she thought when she awoke. And as she could not go to sleep again, she got up, although it was very early, and began to put the house in order. Presently she heard a knock at the door, and cried, Come in. She expected to see a neighbor, but when the door opened, one of the strangers entered. Her name was Wisdom, and she was the daughter of Evangelist. Christiana knew her, for she had seen her in the city, and had sometimes watched her gathering the children round her, that she might talk to them about the king. I have been wishing to speak to you, she said, but I have not been able to find you in the streets lately. No, replied Christiana, I was tired of the streets, and I took my little sister into the fields. Wisdom laid her hand gently upon the girl's shoulder. I don't think you are very happy, Christiana. I am lonely, she answered. You have your three brothers and Innocence. Yes, but I am lonely, she repeated. My father and mother are gone, and little Christian is too, and I do not know what has become of them. They are with the king, in his glorious city." "Ah," said Christiana, "I have been told so often that the stories about the king in the celestial city are not true." "They are quite true," replied Wisdom. "The king is sorry that you do not believe me, and he has sent me to tell you that he wishes you to begin your pilgrimage at once, and to bring the boys and innocents with you." "So many of us?" exclaimed Christiana. "Yes, the king's city is large, and there is room in it for every pilgrim who comes to its gates. Do you not know how pleased your dear ones will be when they hear that those gates have been opened for you?" The tears came into Christiana's eyes, but she wiped them away. "I will think about it," she said. "This will help you," answered Wisdom, and she drew out a folded paper like that which Evangelist had given to Christian. "It is a letter from the king. Keep it safely and read it often. And when you reach the celestial city, you must show it to the shining ones who will meet you at the gate." Thanks for listening.